What it do, what it is. You ain't never see a player like this. Holla at me, baby.
Hey, beautiful.
What's up, babe?
All right, before we get started with this episode, I just want to say that this episode is sponsored by 1212 Apparel.
Oh my God, I didn't even do this in the other video we did.
Create your own luck shirts.
Can't really see it on my boobies.
Probably can't see it on my boobies either. It's about creating your own luck. Yeah.
When's it launching? Tell the people they want to know.
It launches in March.
What date?
I don't have a date.
You need to pick a date.
Day in March.
That's not good enough.
All right,
entrepreneurs know you need to set a date.
Yes. This isn't really about, date setting and stuff. It's just about a vibe.
And people want the vibe.
It's cool. It's chill.
People want the vibe. Yeah. And let me tell y'all, these are on some real good quality shirts.
They are. They're really soft. They're stretchy. They snug you. They hold you just right.
All right, what are we talking about today, babe?
We're talking about where we would be in life had we never come together.
That can get kind of crazy.
It can.
Because I always think of it as, where would I be if I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for 3 years? A lot of people don't even know that. Mm-hmm. Some people think my name is Connie. My name is not Connie, it's Ashley. So just so anybody that doesn't actually know me, my name is Ashley, and I went to Johnson & Wales University in Charlotte, North Carolina for business management and fashion merchandising, and I was in school for 2 years, and then I stayed there once I decided to stop school for 1 year, and then I moved back home because my brother passed away. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I always think, and I feel like we've discussed this before, where would I be if I didn't move back? Because then I would, of course, not have met you. At least that's how I feel. And then for you moved here from DC.
Yeah.
So you always say, what if I never moved back from DC? So I think that plays into, if we never met each other, It's very dynamic how that all works out. Yeah.
For people to even come into contact with each other, period, is very the percentages are so low that when something great happens from something like that, it's it has to be meant to be, right? Because I don't even supposed to be in Connecticut at all, honestly. But.
So I moved back to Connecticut because my brother passed away. And then how did you get here?
I moved to Connecticut, period, when I was 9 because my parents were, on drugs. They were addicted to drugs, and, neighbors called pretty much DCF on us. We moved to the other side of Washington, D.C. That's where I'm from. And then shortly after, no family members could really take us. Everybody else was busy with their own lives and going to school and having children that, me and my sister that's only a year and a half older than me pretty much got sent to Connecticut. So that's how I ended up here. My grandparents lived in Connecticut, so I moved in with them. They were the only people in our family that could take us. Been here since 99. As much as I want to say that I would be in a similar position minus you in my life and obviously Rain, it would just be me and Hayden living the life in a house still, maybe not this particular house, seeing that you picked this one. But I'm not sure I would have gotten my life together at this very moment. I think at 30, I'd still be in the same position that I was in at 27, that I cleaned up. Because I think you and having the second child, Rain, played a pivotal point in me cleaning my act up. And that was year 5 into our relationship. So if it took me 5 years to be with somebody that I loved and make a decision to better myself so that I can provide for them better, I couldn't imagine where I would be or how messed up I would be or what I would even be focusing on had I just been in these streets for those 5 or 6 years prior to realizing it just ain't right. Because the initial pull for me to even do better came from me wanting to do something for my family. It wasn't really even for me. I wanted a house, but it really was because, okay, we got a second kid now. I want to do something. I want to make a purchase so that we have something that we can call ours now. And I just don't see myself with that focus without you and Rain being a part of it.
Okay, and where do you think you'd be at if you never even moved to Connecticut?
If I never moved to Connecticut, I truthfully, with all my heart, believe that I would either be dead or in jail. Because I have 2 older brothers. My closest older brother in age to me, he was 6 years older than me. I thought he was the coolest person in the world. So there's no there's no doubt in my mind that I would have done what he was doing. Now, he would have probably tried to stop me from doing it because he sold drugs, because he really needed
Also,
to.
no doubt in your mind that you wouldn't have done what he was doing.
Exactly. I would have been doing exactly what he was doing. I'm sure, knowing him and the person he was, he wouldn't want me to be in that lifestyle, but the area we grew up in, it just comes with it. Everybody do it. You sell it, you rob it, you take it any kind of way. And I just don't see myself with the family dynamic I had of me kind of wanting to shift the mode if I was around them this whole time. Now, I didn't grow up around them like where they had that big influence on me like that. I was separated from them, so I got a different perspective of, okay, this is what I don't want in my life now, because I didn't grow up next to them.
In it.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in it. Exactly. So my take on it now is like, wow, I got to see what my two brothers did that I don't like. One's in jail, one passed away at 22. They both were drug dealers. One, murdered someone. One was murdered. I don't want nothing to do with none of that stuff that come with that lifestyle. But if I was in it, there's no telling that I wouldn't have tried to retaliate on my brother passing away, or if I would have got murdered before him because I was trying to do something for him or him. You know what I mean? It's just, but I know I would have been in it because that's just the family dynamic.
I think that it's sad, but I agree with you 100% for one. I think that absolutely, I feel like it took for us to have rain period for us to get to the mindset we were at. So definitely, if I wasn't around, you wouldn't have gotten there at least as quickly. I think that based off of where you were at, unless you found someone else that gave you the same feeling that I gave you to make you want to be in a long-term relationship, I think that you may have had some unwanted relationships which brought children. If you were in Connecticut, these are Connecticut. Yeah. And then I absolutely agree that if you were in DC, just based off of
everything
what I know, that likely would have been the circumstances as well. So
could you imagine me being like a hood nigga?
No, that's what's so great. You would have been a goofy nigga though, like, 'cause you play a lot, and I feel like your playfulness came from childhood though. Like I feel like you've been like that, so you just would have been a playful like hood nigga, and that would have been crazy. Like couldn't even imagine.
Be quiet. Shh.
I think it's sad. But I felt like me and you, even when we first started dating, which was very young, could connect on the fact that we both unfortunately lost brothers, which was just very strange to me that I was talking to somebody that also lost a brother, because you don't meet too many people, especially back then. Yeah. It's like 10 years ago. Yeah. Well, 9 years ago.
And it was around the same time, too.
Yeah,
your brother was 08, right?
That was like the first person I had truly lost that was that close to me. So to know someone else and be dealing with someone else who lost someone just as close, it was crazy to even imagine. So we had a lot in common when it came to that area of loss. But I think that if I never met you, I would have met you eventually. But if I never dated you and I was in Connecticut, I think that I would have ended up pregnant by somebody else that I probably didn't end up being with. Yeah. And I think
could you imagine that, right?
No.
Isn't that crazy? Because it's like you met me and we're together, and it takes two people to have that same focus to really kind of stay together and build a family. And there's so many examples that you see out here of people just thinking things are good, and then they have the baby, and then they're broken up within 6 months to a year, and it's just like, wow, like that whole family is done already.
I think that you brought to me, when I moved to North Carolina, I felt very happy to be there. Like I really enjoyed being there, although I was homesick a lot, because I'm like very big into family. Like I really miss them, but I felt like I was gonna become myself there, and I was gonna grow into this great creative person there. And I felt like when I moved back home due to my brother passing away, that I lost that feeling. And I feel like I was one of those people that felt like there was nothing in Connecticut for me besides my family, and that I couldn't grow here and be creative here, and that it was holding me back. And Charlotte was an outlet, and I liked being there because I felt like I could get everything out, and there was just more going on, and the city was building, and I was growing with it. Yeah. It was becoming the major city when I was there. Like it was developing while I was there. So I feel like if I was in Connecticut and never met you, that I would have never went the route of finally becoming an entrepreneur. If I did, it would have been at a later time, because I think it took for me seeing you do it and encouraging you to take those leaps of faith for me to want to do it and follow through with it as well and be encouraged. And I just feel like I would have been like the typical night, like what our parents were, my you know, like just not really going further.
Not advancing yourself, just kind of stuck in a routine.
Paycheck to paycheck, just making sure you're getting the bills paid, making sure you're providing for your kids, which of course we're always forever grateful for, but we just feel like we wish that they could have went further to be able to teach us to
and never
get to
really
that place
taking
as
the
well.
steps to get to abundance instead of just getting by.
Yeah, and then if I never met you, I don't think that I would have, besides the entrepreneurship part, the finance part, like I really have just never been into the finance part. I spend money as it comes, and that's just it. And granted, I don't have the same mindset as you in spending money. I'm not going to cut out my life completely because I'm the type of person that thinks I could die tomorrow. I want to be happy with where I'm at. But I take a lot of what you say into consideration with my finances now and cutting back on the things that I do and saying no to myself in order to be able to get where I feel like we need to go and even be able to think of my finances 5 years from now and 10 years from now, what I want to be able to do with my money and investing and, you know, things like that. So I think with Connecticut wise, that would have been its own thing. I think if I never even moved back from Charlotte, that I probably would be doing something more fashion like in my entrepreneurship, but I still think I would have eventually fell into entrepreneurship. One of my close friends that I had when I was in Charlotte was into parties, so I think that I would have fell into that with her, which is similar to what I do now. I might not have even came up with the thought of the design part, but would have been into throwing events because I was just with her all the time, and it seems like something that I would enjoy doing if I was there. But I think there too I would have ended up having a child with somebody that I didn't want to be with, and I would have been a single parent. And I may have eventually ended up moving home because I just needed the extra support and help. Because granted, I liked being out there.
Because then you got maybe if you're a single parent but the father still wants to be in the child's life, then it's
I don't live there.
Here, I got blah blah blah, and back and forth.
Terrible.
It's funny that you brought all this up though, because now that you've brought it up and saying that I've kind of gave you the spunk to get into entrepreneurship and finance. It's funny though because I get all the credit for all the stuff I do because it's me physically doing it. But I think you played a humongous role in me becoming who I am in the first place. I don't know if I'm not this finance guy without you. Because you're the reason, and my family is the reason why I educated myself to change it in the first place. So I'm not this guy without you. I'm not sure I'm the entrepreneur that motivates people without you because, yes, when I met you, I wasn't even taking pictures. This all happened. I had a camera, but this was all happening. This all happened while I was with you. Your motivation to say, no, raise your prices. No, don't do that. No, do the contracts. No, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. All that stuff. And you weren't even an entrepreneur. You were just working. And I was working too. And not even thinking that, and you told me that I could probably quit before I decided that, oh, maybe I can actually do this full time. I don't know if I'm this person without you. I get all the praise and glory, and they're giving me, now I'm getting an award soon for this, for picking up a camera, but I'm really not this person without you. Granted, it makes sense why I get the glory because I'm physically doing the work and I'm advancing myself, but that motivation behind stuff is just as important as you. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James is 6'8", 6'9", 250 pounds, but if he's not going up to the gym at 6 o'clock every morning and practicing, he's not LeBron James. And maybe his wife is like, no, babe, you got to do this. And he's just like, I'm tired today. And she's like, no, you got to get up. And, you know what I'm saying? So he's not LeBron James without that motivating force behind him. And even when it comes to Hayden, our oldest child, you know what I mean? I don't know if Hayden is living with me majority of the time without you. I'm not sure that without your support in that I could have made that happen in the first place. Like he could have came with me.
I think you would have tried it,
but it may have not have stuck.
Yeah.
He may have been here a year and then went back because it was just too much to manage. You know what I'm saying? Like these past 5-6 years of him being with us, you play a major role in that. Like my whole life is different because of you.
And I agree with all the things that you brought up, and I think that it took the motivation for you to dig deeper into those things. So I think that you had the entrepreneur skill set and mindset, and you had the finance mindset because although you just recently got out of debt, you still were always better with money. When I first met you, you were better with money, and you were putting it towards, even if you were paying off all the you weren't thinking about where you are right now. So you always had that in you. And then I think for the entrepreneurship part, I definitely pushed you because I've always had the creative and entrepreneurial mindset, and I enjoy helping other people to get there.
Yeah.
But if I didn't meet you and I was in Connecticut, I wouldn't have elaborated on it because I just feel like Connecticut is so draining.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would have met the people besides, of course, Shay, but like I don't think I would have met the people and been around the people that I am around right now in the entrepreneurial world,
Right.
and following those people without meeting you first.
Right.
Because I feel like we grew into that together.
Absolutely.
So it's actually really crazy to think that neither of us would be who we are right now.
We literally
without
needed each other to, so it's like I had this in my mind and then I started it, but I can honestly say I may have not taken it to the next level without you. You had this in your mind, but you didn't feel like it was for you, and then the space you were in, and it was like, I'm just gonna push him because I know that he wants to do this.
Yeah.
And then you saw me grow to a level, and then you're like, wait, I think I need that for myself too. But it took me to have an idea and you to have an idea, you to push me, you to see the growth from it, for me to now motivate you to say, okay, I can do it now, and then it's just back and forth.
And then
back
me
and
to feel
forth.
comfortable
Yep.
in your growth, because at the end
And
of the
knowing
day,
that it's even possible.
I said that she brings to the table that you supporting me has been financially supporting me in order for me to leave work and be able to do a glow full time has been the extra help, because a lot of people will ask, how do you leave your job? Like, what do? You leave your job? And I'm like, honestly, I don't think I could. I wanted to leave my job. I wasn't investing at all. But if I didn't have you there supporting me financially, I wouldn't have been able to leave.
Right.
And I also feel like, because right now, even still with me being out of work and you being the one supporting me, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like, I want to be able to provide something to the household, is what I said at the event. I said, I want to be able to provide something, and it bothers me to not be able to provide something, but thank God I have the spouse and the partner in this that's willing to take that extra finance thing for himself and my own bills, because we have bills that aren't always together, that I'm able to even do that right now and try and make it happen. Because if I wasn't with you and I didn't have that person, now I'm thinking, if I wasn't with you and I'm a single parent, I definitely couldn't have taken the leap of being a full-time entrepreneur or an entrepreneur at all, because I wouldn't have had the time to be able to do it. Hi, baby.
You wanna come? Come on. Come on.
Oh no.
Come on. Sit.
Okay.
Welcome, rain. Okay.
Sing.
Okay. Sit.
Okay. Calm down. Say hi.
Hello.
Say hi. Say hi. Say hi.
But all in all, I think it's deserving though. I think you deserve me doing this for you because, like I said, you helped build me up to this level. So how can I get to this level and still continue to grow and now be like, nah, like, I mean, you got to pay your bills still.
I feel what you're saying.
Because I quit my job when I was still paying bills.
But in
and
the, in the household
that
I grew up in, I'm just so used to providing. Because that's, at the end of the day, my mom, my dad lived in the same household, but my mom always provided.
Right.
And she always was the strong
main
parent figure in my life. So I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm used to doing that. I want to do that. I don't want to be just a maid.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to cook, clean, and provide.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on a smaller scale and I'm just buying the groceries. I want to be able to, come on now, child.
to do something.
I want to be able to do something. I don't like not doing anything. I never ever saw in my life, one, getting married, and then two, being supported financially, that I wasn't providing anything.
Yeah.
And granted, I think that I'm absolutely going to get there with being able to do it with my entrepreneurship, but I'm just not there yet, and it's uncomfortable, and I don't like it. But they say being uncomfortable is what you're supposed to, it means it's growth.
It's the motions.
Yeah.
Well, we're here now. Cheers to that.
Cheers. You make sure in March you get your create your own Luck 1212 shirts.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens, CT Rose Day is 6/6 this year, and tickets are live, so you can get those on Aglow's website as well as Eventbrite. And we are currently raising money and getting donations to take a trip to London. Aglow is doing that, to take a trip to London for an event styling workshop. So we are also on GoFundMe. We're doing merchandise through Cash App for shirts that say Connecticut Creatives, and we have a lot of those. So get your shirts. Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Dope.
Yeah.
Until next time.